Every case has evidence, every clue has a story, and every mystery has a solution hidden somewhere in the facts. The question is, can you find it before we reveal the answer? This is the case file. Isdalen Valley, Bergen, Norway. Sunday, November 29th, 1970. A university professor and his two young daughters were hiking through one of the most dramatic landscapes in western Norway, a steep rocky valley surrounded by pine forest and mountain walls that locals had called Isdalen since the Middle Ages. Ice Valley. Some called it Death Valley. The name had history behind it. Centuries of unexplained deaths, missing persons, suicides recorded going back to the 1300s. It was the kind of place that held its secrets well. That morning, the professor's daughters found one more. Among the rocks and scree, partially burned, lying on her back with her arms raised in what forensic experts would later call the pugilistic pose, a position caused by extreme heat contracting the muscles, was the body of a woman. She was approximately 5 feet 4 inches tall, between 25 and 40 years old, dark brown hair, delicate features, burned severely enough to make identification from appearance alone impossible. Around her body were scattered objects, sleeping pills, a liquor bottle, an empty petrol container, the remnants of what appeared to be burned paper or documents, and a distinctive smell, not just of burning, but of something chemical, something deliberate, something intentional about the way this fire had been set. Police arrived within the hour, and from the first moments of the investigation, they knew something was wrong in a way that went beyond the fire, beyond the body, beyond the remoteness of the location. Every item of clothing the woman was wearing had its labels removed, not torn off hastily, cut away carefully, with precision, by someone who knew what they were doing and had taken their time. The seams where labels had been were clean. This was not panic. This was preparation. The autopsy delivered two further disturbing facts. First, the cause of death was a combination of phenobarbital poisoning and carbon monoxide inhalation. She had consumed between 50 and 70 Phenomal brand sleeping pills before the fire was lit. Second, soot was found deep in her lungs. She had been alive when she burned. Whether the fire was set by her own hand or someone else's, the evidence could not definitively say. 3 days after the body was found, investigators located 2 suitcases at Bergen railway station. They had been abandoned there, checked in, and never collected. Inside, what they found would transform a puzzling death into one of the most extraordinary cold cases in European history. The suitcases contained the following: wigs, 4 of them, different colors and styles, non-prescription glasses, extensive makeup, eczema cream with the woman's name carefully scratched off the tube, currency from 6 different countries: Norwegian kroner, German marks, Belgian francs, British pounds, Swedish kroner, and Swiss francs, maps, train timetables, clothing, with every single label removed from every single garment, and a notepad filled with handwritten entries in a code that Norwegian police could not immediately read. Most significantly, the suitcases contained no identification of any kind: no passport, no driving license, no letters, photographs, or personal documents of any nature. None. A partial fingerprint was recovered from a pair of sunglasses found in the suitcase. It matched the dead woman, but it matched nothing in any fingerprint database in Norway, Europe, or internationally. Later forensic analysis would suggest the fingerprints on her hands had been deliberately sanded down, abraded to reduce their legibility. The woman had not merely hidden her identity. She had systematically, professionally, and thoroughly destroyed it. Investigators decoded the notepad over the following weeks. The coded entries turned out to be a travel diary, dates and hotel names, written in a simple substitution cipher. Using this, combined with hotel check-in records across Norway and Europe, police reconstructed the woman's movements in the months before her death. She had used at least 8 confirmed fake identities. Among the names she used, Genevieve Lancier, Claudia Tielt, Alexia Zarn-Mirchez, Vera Jarl, Fenella Lork, Elizabeth Lienhauer, all Belgian, all false. The addresses she gave on hotel registration forms appeared legitimate, streets that existed in Brussels, but when investigators checked, the house numbers did not. She had traveled between Bergen, Trondheim, Stavanger, Oslo, and Paris. She always paid cash. She sometimes changed rooms multiple times during a single stay, a counter-surveillance technique. She was witnessed meeting men at several hotels, men who, notably, never came forward after her death was publicized. At one hotel, she was remembered because she smelled strongly of garlic. At another, she changed rooms 3 times in a single night. Bergen in 1970 was a strategically significant NATO naval base. Soviet submarines regularly operated in Norwegian waters. Cold War intelligence activities from both Eastern Bloc and Western agencies ran extensively through Scandinavia. Norwegian intelligence took a quiet interest in the case almost immediately. The woman's behavior fit a specific profile: multiple false identities with consistent cover details, deliberate label removal as standard practice, coded personal records, counter-surveillance room changes, cash only, currency from 6 countries, no fixed home base identifiable, meetings with men who vanished from the record. These were, investigators noted, the hallmarks of trained intelligence tradecraft. That is the evidence. An unidentified woman found burned in a Norwegian valley. 8 fake identities, a coded travel diary, sanded fingerprints, wigs and disguises, currency from 6 countries, a hotel trail across northern Europe, witnesses who saw her and said nothing after her death, and a cause of death that could be suicide, or could be something arranged to look like it. So here is the challenge. Using only the evidence presented, can you determine who this woman was? Was she a spy? And if so, for which side? Did she choose her own death, or did someone choose it for her? And what is the single most telling detail in all of that evidence? The one thing that, if you spotted it, tells you almost everything about who she really was. Pause the video now and write down your theory. Then drop it in the comments below. We want to know what you think before the reveal. When you come back, we will show you what investigators discovered in the decades that followed, including a forensic breakthrough in 2016 and a significant new development as recently as 2026. We will see you on the other side. Norwegian investigators pursued the case for decades. In 2016, 46 years after the body was found, the Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation, NRK, partnered with Bergen Police to formally reopen the investigation, commissioning new forensic analysis and launching a public appeal for information. The results were significant. Isotope analysis of the woman's teeth and bones, a technique unavailable in 1970, can identify where a person grew up based on the chemical signature of the water and food they consumed during childhood. The analysis indicated with high probability that the Isdal woman had grown up in a German-speaking region of Central Europe, most likely in or around the city of Nuremberg in southern Germany. DNA extracted from preserved tissue samples was entered into international databases. It matched no known profile. In 2023, a journalist following a separate lead proposed a connection to a Swiss banking family with wartime history. Norwegian police investigated and did not confirm the connection. The lead remains open. As of 2026, the Isdal woman remains unidentified. She lies in a zinc coffin in Mullendal Cemetery in Bergen, preserved deliberately, at police request, in case future forensic technology allows identification. The zinc was chosen specifically to maintain the integrity of her remains across decades. Norwegian police still maintain an active file. Investigators pursued multiple theories seriously. Theory 1. She was an Eastern Bloc intelligence operative, most likely East German or Soviet. gathering information on NATO naval movements from Bergen Harbor. Her tradecraft, her travel pattern between NATO-adjacent port cities, and her behavior at hotels all supported this. The theory was considered most credible by Norwegian intelligence in the years following her death, though no Eastern Bloc or Soviet archive has ever confirmed it. Theory 2. She was a Western intelligence operative, working for a NATO agency, whose cover was compromised, leading to her elimination arranged to appear as suicide. This would explain why Western governments were reportedly uncooperative with Norwegian police requests for information in the months after her death. Theory 3. She was neither a spy nor a murder victim, but a woman living outside conventional society for personal reasons, constructing elaborate false identities to remain hidden from someone or something in her past. Her Catholic aliases, her eczema cream, her distinctly unoperational choice of Death Valley as a final location, all suggested someone with a personal history she was running from rather than a professional operating a mission. Here is what we know with reasonable confidence. The Isdal woman was trained, or self-trained, in the techniques of identity concealment at a level that goes far beyond what most private individuals would know or need. She had significant financial resources. The foreign currency she carried represented substantial sums in 1970 values. She was connected to a network of men in several Norwegian cities who never came forward, and she was, in all likelihood, from the Nuremberg region of Germany. Here is what we still don't know. Her real name, who she was working for, if anyone, whether she died by her own hand, and who, if anyone, knew she was going to die that night in Isdalen Valley and did nothing, or worse. And here is the clue that was always there, present in the evidence from the very first examination, often overlooked because it appears to be a minor personal detail. The eczema cream, with her name scratched off. Every other identifying item was removed before she ever began her travels. Labels cut from clothing in advance, passports constructed under false names, aliases prepared and memorized. All of it was preparation done before departure, professional, calm, unhurried. But the eczema cream was different. The name on that tube had been scratched off, roughly, with what appeared to be a coin or a key, after purchase. It was the one item she had not prepared in advance. The one item she had bought under her real name, or at least a name connected to her real life, and then hastily tried to erase. The eczema cream tells you that somewhere in Europe, there is a pharmacy where a woman bought a specific brand of eczema cream, gave her real name for the purchase record, and then immediately tried to undo that mistake. It is the single moment in this entire case where the professional mask slipped. The single moment where the woman with no name almost had one. Norwegian police searched pharmacy records across Europe for years. They never found the purchase. Did you spot it? The clue was not the coded notebook, or the 8 passports, or the sanded fingerprints. It was the one small thing she almost forgot, and then almost fixed. The Isdal woman remains unidentified. Her case remains officially open, and somewhere in a German-speaking part of Europe, someone may know her real name. That is, the case file. A new case every week. Real evidence, real clues. One chance to solve it before the reveal. Subscribe, and we will see you next case.